Hey guys, let's dig into the third segment here. So we're gonna go real deep on this one. This one might be the longest part of the segment, and that's why I broke it up. You can just do one at a time. You can watch them all. You can come back to the stuff that you want, refreshers on. So we're gonna dive into my actual process. Starting off, the Mets were staying in a hotel less than a mile from Synergy Field. Well, some players walked. Most took the team bus. A few minutes later. Again, it was less than a mile. The last players off the bus noticed a stretch limo that had just pulled up. Of course, Rickey emerged from the back seat. Rickey don't like when Rickey can't find Rickey's limo. I feel you, Rickey. There's our boy, Sam Hinkie. You can't trust a process if you don't have one. So these questions come from Strider, and we'll go over each one individually. So his first question is, do you use Fantasy Cruncher to make your lineups for MLB? Do you use different settings based on the slate size? For 3-game slates, do you use the max hitter versus pitcher option? Do you leave it set to 0 on 3 games? Do you cap hitters on 3-game slates? Are you using different types of stacks within your crunches? If so, are you changing settings and using create 10 more to create various stacks? Sure, I'll have more questions. This gets me started. Thanks again. All right. So, question number 1. Do you use Fantasy Cruncher to create your lineups for MLB? Yes, I use Fantasy Cruncher for everything that I play. It is the most phenomenal product in all of DFS, and I can't believe Dave only charges what he charges for it. He should charge 10 times as much. It's that powerful. Projection sources that I trust. We already covered this. SaberSim and Daily Roto. And this is a peeve that I have, is I will tell people where to find projection sources, and I understand that everybody's budgetary obligations are different, but typically if you're playing DFS at a level that we're talking about playing, you should have some discretionary income set aside to do this. Again, go back to the bankroll management videos. DFS money or bill money is not DFS money. You got to have money set aside. So they'll be like, dude, I don't want to pay $50 for this or that. And I'm like, you won't pay $50 for this, but you got 25, 50 grand in student loan debt that isn't really doing much for you. And I get you got to pay that off, and that's the right thing to do, but you won't invest into this thing that's actually going to make you money. So the 2 wrongs don't make a right. Hey, student loans, I had them. It took me about 10 years to get out of them. It sucks, but big part of why I was able to do that was through, well, not student loans, but credit card debt, through DraftKings. So take this serious and invest in yourself, guys. There's awesome products out there that will make your life so much easier. So please invest in those. Neither of those sites pay me. None of these sites pay me. It's just, again, transparency and doing the right thing for you guys and helping you not make a lot of the mistakes that I made. Second question, do you use different settings based on the slate size? Estimated top pitchers. Sorry, I got ahead of myself. Only when it comes to pitching. The only thing that I mess with when on my settings is pitching. And the way that I go about my pitcher caps, and when I say caps, I mean I don't want more than 50% of this pitcher or 40% or 30% or whatever, is I estimate the top projected ownership pitcher per slate, and I want to be even with the field. So on a 4-game or more slate, you're looking at the chalky pitchers, your Max Scherzers, your Verlanders, your Carlos Carrascos, your aces. I don't even know if Carrasco is an ace. I don't know why I said that, because he pitched today. That's why I said that. So I apologize. I meant Kluber. Sorry, baseball snobs. But those guys are going to be your chalky guys, and I just want to be even with the field because, number one, the aces, they can go off, but they're always expensive. They're always over 10,000, and if they don't get to 40 points, 4x, it's going to be really hard to take down a GPP. I do want exposure to them, but most of the times when I win a GPP, it's from like a 7,000, 8,000, 9,000 pitcher that got to 5x. 30, 40 points and 10% ownership. So I want to make sure that I get some exposure to those guys too. So per slate, that's how I break down my caps is, hey, whatever the max pitcher is going to be, I want to be even with the field. That way I can get exposure to the other pitchers. And then So we just covered that. So I'll show you how to do this. We've done this in the other Fantasy Cruncher video, but I'll just show you guys again how to do it. So you go to MLB, DraftKings, and again, all this stuff is for DraftKings, so I apologize to you FanDuel folks out there. Some of this stuff is going to be applicable, but most of the stuff is going to be catered to DraftKings where I play. So we'll wait for the site to load, and we'll go to pitchers, and it's 9 o'clock Pacific, and Dave and his team already have all of the stuff loaded up for the next day. Again, get Fantasy Cruncher. These guys are the best. I want to play DFS half as well as Fantasy Cruncher is to whatever. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you don't. Doesn't matter. All right, so exposure is right here. You click on it, and let's just say we were doing a big slate. So tomorrow morning, I think it's a 7-gamer. Yeah, the early slate's a 7-gamer. I'm playing it. So you click that. You hit 25. Apply to players. Wham, bam, everything's locked in. So that is how you cap your pitching exposure. If you want to do more, just type in 60. You want to live dangerously. There you go. The more games there are, the lower you can get to get more pitchers. But the less games on the slate, the higher this exposure is going to have to be. So that's how you play with that tool. For 3-game or more slates, do you use the max hitter versus pitcher option? And I don't. I always have this set to 0. It's a matter of preference. If you like it, roll with it. If you don't, that's cool too. I'll let that load back up. I shouldn't have closed it in the first place. You can get more unique lineups if you do allow a hitter to face a pitcher. So let's say you have a game like tonight in Coors, and you know that runs are going to be scored, but maybe you think they're going to be scored in the bullpen, and you want Patrick Corbin. He's a power pitcher, and you think that he can, get some good innings in, and then maybe the Nationals bullpen blows it, or you really like Charlie Blackmon's matchup versus Corbin. Can hit a home run or something. That's where you would allow that too. But I always have it set to 0, even on 2 games. The only time I would ever allow it would be on the showdown slates, but I no longer play them since they got rid of the relief pitchers. And you would find this under the advanced options, and this is where Strider is seeing this max hitters versus pitchers, and you can go all the way up to 5. Number of hitters that can be facing the opposing pitcher. Alrighty. Next question. Whoop. That was like the Tony Romo slide on Sunday Night Football. Whoop. No, it's Chris Collinsworth. So silly. Sorry, guys, it's late. I've been working all day. Do you ever cap hitters on a 3-game slate? No, never. My whole process is based on stacking teams that I want. If I'm on the Yankees, on exposure to every bat in that lineup. So what I'm about to fill you guys in on, most people don't think this way, don't like it, don't agree. And again, I just do what works for me. Stick to what works for you. And the dirty little secret about DFS is that you really need, when you're stacking teams, is to be on that lower owned guy. So let's say we were stacking the Yankees. You're not going to win if Aaron Judge hits 2 home runs. And the reason being is Aaron Judge is going to be owned. Aaron Judge, Mookie Betts, Stanton, those guys are almost every single day owned at like 30%. So whatever they do, it does not move the needle. Unless you have those guys in every single lineup, it's not going to move the needle. And even if you did have it in 100% of your lineups, it's not going to move it that much. You win GPPs when, wait for it, look at this box score. This is from earlier this year. Yankees scored 15 runs. 30% own Aaron Judge. Nothing. 2 points for a walk. He's not winning the GPP. It's all of these extra guys. Gardner. Nice game. Gary Sanchez. has the what do they call it? The Triple Crown or whatever when you hit 3 home runs? I don't know. Gleyber does awesome. Clint Frazier. Aaron Romine. Austin Romine, whatever his name is. I don't know these guys. I don't know half the names of these guys. I just play game theory. So I just want to show you this because all the time everyone's like, dude, I got to get this guy in, and I only want the top half. I don't want the bottom half. And it's just like, oh my gosh, like I'm not trying to insult anybody, but like the game is not that complicated. It's not that difficult. You know, I see that Dave added the tool. Look at this tool for stacking. Dave adds this include batters batting in. Every one of those should be clicked. I don't understand why you wouldn't want exposure to. If you are stacking a team, get a piece of every single batter. Nothing is worse than when you have a team that you're all in on or have, you know, in 50%, 60% of your lineups, whatever, and some dude hits a home run and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm on those guys today. I'm on that team today. And you check and you have no exposure to that guy. Click all the buttons, guys. I mean, do whatever you want. I don't care. Just telling you what works for me. So we'll dive a little bit deeper into our case study here. Damn it. Oh, sorry. Getting a little loopy here. Are you using different types of stacks within your crunches? All day, every day? Yes. If so, are you changing settings or are you using create 10 more to create various stacks? Okay, so that is the deepest, darkest secret to all of DFS. But what I'm about to show you is probably something that most players out there won't want me to show you, but I'm going to show you anyway because I don't care. Because I'm not really giving it away any secrets. You still have to figure out how to win. So let's go into Rewind. Again, this is a free tool. And we're going to go to, let's go to last Friday. I like looking at Fridays because there's a ton of games. So we'll look at last Friday. And a good thing to always look at to see where you could have been is click on the actual score. This is going to show you your bats. So look at this chalk stuff. Freaking Red Sox. Well, they played the Rays. The Rays are a good pitching team, so that maybe not have been that chalky as normal. But let's say that this is actually a terrible example. No, it's not. Okay, so no one's ever on the White Sox, right? Well, was there multiple slates this day? Yeah, I don't. Let's see. Yeah, that's fine. No, sorry. Again, I apologize, guys. This stuff's okay. This is more like it. Okay. Again, we'll focus on the White Sox here. Bad example. All right, we'll look at. All right, okay. We'll look at the Mariners. Mariners scored 11 runs this night. Guess what? If you are doing the traditional way of, so this is how most people build. So let's say they have 3 uniques, team stacks, and they go add all, and we're gonna clone this one, and I want 5-3 stacks, and I want no more than 20% and 20%, and just go crazy, optimizer. I'm gonna do 20 max. Dude, best stacks coming right here. Oh yeah, Astros over Pirates. Dude, I'm gonna win all the GPPs, right? Let's see how, and this is just 20. You know, you can run 150. Oh, weird. No Mariners. Man, baseball DFS is so hard. I didn't get any Mariners. Dude, this thing's rigged. Only the best players win. It's like, you want some Mariners? Let me show you. You want some Mariners? You really want some Mariners? Got that Seattle fever? It's that simple. That's how you get your bats. One team at a time. Now his question was, how do you get more? Do you create? There's 2 ways you can do it. So he was saying that calculate 10 more teams. So we'll calculate 10 more teams, and I just clicked on a random team, the Rockies. Scroll down, and you'll start seeing all of your Rockies. The other thing that you can do is we'll scroll back up. And let's say we want to let's say we want some Marlins. We want to go super contrarian, get some Marlins stacks. No one's ever on the Marlins because they are a really good baseball team. You click your 20 more, get your Marlins stacks. And you click select lineups, move 20 into crunch 2. That's typically what I do. Here's a really sneaky thing that I like doing is they have this option to sort, because the way that this is created, even if you ran your top projected lineups, Cruncher's going to build off of projections. That's all it's looking at, is maximizing the value based off projections. So if you have a lesser hitting team like the Marlins, it's always going to be at the bottom of your stack or of your crunch. But if the Marlins score 12 runs, you're going to win GPPs with that. So how do you get them with your chalkier lineups? You just hit ascending, and you've got your Mariners, and there's your Marlins. So that is the dirty little secret about MLB DFS. And again, you still have to figure out what stacks are going to score runs, but don't complain, I didn't get the Mets today, they scored 12 runs. It's like, well, pick the Mets, man. Run some Mets lineups. Not that hard. If you think they're going to score runs, you want to guarantee that you have them. Don't jack with the projections. The projections are awesome. Just make sure you click on the teams you want to get exposure to. It's really that simple. Simple, 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 simple. I'll get people asking me stuff, dude, I'm doing this, I'm doing this, I'm doing this. And I'm like, why? That's way too complicated. The more complicated it gets, the harder it's going to be to win. I think that there's a myth out there that there's computer science, algorithm, machine learning dudes out there that if you're not them, you can't win. I don't know any of that stuff. Again, I was Fresno State, dude. I don't know any of that stuff. I can barely do formulas in Excel. It's just about game theory, man. Play the game. Find out what wins. Find a repeatable process. You've covered a ton of tools about how to study other players, how to learn, how to backtest. Just do those things. It's really, really simple. So, again, don't trust Sam's process. Trust Pete's. The most contrarian thing of all is to oppose the crowd. Not to oppose the crowd, but to think for yourself. Just do what you guys want to do. If you think, man, you know what? I think Scherzer is, everyone's going to be on everyone else. But, if I just take this Marlins team, let's do it. Screw it. Let's do it. If you did that on Sunday, the Marlins went off against Scherzer. Enough to where you won the slate. I think it was a turbo slate. Just think for yourself. Just do what you want. If it's your money and you're going to lose, go down losing the way that you want to lose. Don't play this game scared. We talk about that all the time. That's why you got to manage your bankroll so tight. If you have tight bankroll management, you can get really aggressive with your plays and your ownership. So don't be like Sam and be out of a job because you tried to make things way too complicated. Just pick good players, make good lineups, try to leverage the field. It's really that simple, guys. Again, I'm not trying to offend anybody, so if I ruffled any feathers, I'm just messing around. I'm just having fun. So hope you guys enjoy this. Hope you learned something. This will wrap up segment 3, and we'll get into the biggest pet peeve that I have in all of DFS coming up next.